Welcome everyone and welcome back to the podcast. Today I have Peter with me. Hi Peter, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Happy to be here.
I'm super happy you joined the show because you have a lot of SEO experience and I'm a bit of a stalker. So I've seen some of your case studies and today we're going to go over your strategies and what have you done. But before we get into the juicy part, would you mind to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Peter Rota. I've been in the SEO space for almost 13 years now. So I've done anything from selling affiliate sites to basically I do freelance on the side, but then my day job is mostly technical SEO, but I'm pretty strong in all facets of SEO. So happy to be here and kind of walk through and talk through some of my strategies and how I get results for my clients.
Amazing. What's your favorite animal?
Ooh, good question. I have a cat, so I would say they're pretty high up there, but I think cats.
I love how you're married to the idea, but not at the same time. I should say hello, cat. Okay, just a bit of an icebreaker here.
Yeah.
On contrary, I like fish, so it's kind of a opposite. Cat and fish
too, but usually when I'm eating them.
Right. Okay. So question one, what I have prepared is what are some of the common mistakes your clients have had before you jumped in and helped them with their SEO?
Yeah, sure. So I think it definitely depends on the type of SEO. I would say in, local SEO, enterprise, and e-commerce, I see many of times they're just not really optimize their title tags as best as possible. So many a times they'll have the brand first, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you're not going to get the full value out of the SEO unless you have the non-branded first. So I deal with that a ton. A lot of clients too, they're missing significant opportunities to kind of improve their contextual internal linking. So that kind of helps school to better crawl your site as well as more internal links and just that improve the overall SEO value. Those are the big things. Obviously, sometimes I also see a lot of their headers are not optimized as best as they could. So I think it's just under optimization. And it really depends on the sites. When I initially started my job for Hub International / View Insurance, the View website was a single page application, so we had to work significantly on kind of making that server side friendly and then kind of improving the internal link architecture. So I would say those are the things. And another thing a lot of clients don't realize is that not all, but some of them are not aware that SEO is kind of something you need to continue doing over the long term of the course of the thing. But the thing is, it compounds more versus, say, if you're doing PPC or paid, you turn it off, the traffic's gone. So I would say those. And also, some SEOs say it takes 6 months to see results, but I've gotten results within quickly as a few weeks. So each client's kind of dependent, but I would say those are some of the big themes I've seen over the sites I've worked on.
Okay. Before I move, I have to close the door because my partner speaks so loud. Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, this is awkward because I did close the door. So, I'm so sorry. Do you actually hear him when you speak?
No, I haven't heard him.
Okay, if you don't, then I'm just being paranoid here. Okay. All right, let's go back to the thing. 1, 2, 3. All right, back. So, Peter, I've known that you have a lot of case studies in place, and we have mentioned that you were able to get clients results faster than 6 months, which is incredible for SEO. One of the case studies I like to start with is your Vids Play YouTube channel, where you were able to increase year on year by 3,000%. The reason why I want to start with this case study is because more and more SEOs are shifting to YouTube. They are finding YouTube as a better traffic source. You just get eyeballs really quickly on YouTube. You don't need to have a whole site architecture to support that piece of content. So just want to start with this as it's going to be a big opportunity for a lot of online marketers.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I did that a while back, but essentially I looked at the YouTube channel and just there was just significant opportunities as far as to improve, like the video title weren't really optimized, so I tried to make them a bit more optimized. The descriptions weren't super long, and they also didn't really link to any other videos, so I kind of had it so that it was linking to other playlists, and I made sure like there was a unique playlist for each thing, and then the description was kind of filled out. So, I mean, it didn't have a ton to start, but I mean, I think just the key areas were just making the page titles a bit more optimized, better descriptions, kind of make them longer, kind of end with a CTA to push them through other content. Also, I forgot the name of them, but like I think it's the end screen or whatever they call it in YouTube. So kind of send people to other videos there, and then I would also see like when people are dropping and kind of put a card there to like push them through other videos. So I think it was just trying to improve the overall user experience, and then there's some video SEO things in there as well.
What are the video SEO things you've done? So is that did you tweak the script before it was even like shot or something, or did you re-edit the video?
Yeah, so I mean all these videos were actually already live on YouTube, so I didn't really have a chance to like tweak anything, but I kind of just made sure to focus on like the stuff I mentioned. Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I took it.
Awesome. Do you find that on YouTube like hashtags, do they work? I do put hashtags in my videos, but I'm not sure if that's the one driving the traffic or not.
I mean, I've heard mixed things on that. I mean, I'm not like an expert. I would say just because I don't do it. I do some of it now, but I would probably say if there is a benefit, it's probably negligible. But you're probably going to get more impact out of like the video title, video description, things like that versus just hashtag, which I mean, I think it's kind of like SEO where it's like meta keywords back many years ago, people were using them and they got abused. So it's kind of like, I feel like people probably abuse the thing on YouTube, so they're probably discrediting them at this point.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you for sharing this. And I think these tips are really actionable. And I hope that all of you guys can take this and apply it on your existing YouTube channels or your clients' YouTube channels as well. Were those terms mainly tutorial based? Like I find that how-to videos rank on SERP, like Google SERP, and then it gets the traffic, or what type of keywords were those videos?
Yeah, I mean, it was the channel was specifically about, I mean, they had a variety of videos, but it tended to focus more on like kind of stock videos. So it would be like maybe like free cat stock video, I guess royalty free like water video, ocean, things like that. So it was essentially people were looking to kind of get videos. Yeah, they were trying to get like basically royalty free stock footage that they could use on their site. So we try to basically push them back to our website so they could download kind of the content there. And then at least the model on that site was mostly through advertising revenue / sponsored ads. So we had the free website, but then ultimately they were going to make more money by kind of pushing the paid stock footage.
I see. That's actually a very niche business model, and myself haven't thought of that. But yeah, that's amazing. The next case study you mentioned also on your LinkedIn, and I'd love to learn more about it, is your case study with Citizens Bank, where you improved their traffic by 30% year on year. And you mentioned one strategy, which I have to read out loud, TF-IDF optimization concept. What is that?
Yeah, term frequency, inverse document frequency. I mean, I'm used mostly Surfer now, but essentially it's kind of focusing on the terms in your document versus what the competitors are using, and it kind of comes up with, I think, like, I don't know if it's percentages, but kind of numbers. I mean, I've heard Google may use that, but I think more they're going with like NLP and BER and MUM and things like that. So essentially with that, we kind of focus on just significantly kind of overhauling the title tags to kind of make them a bit more optimized, as well as some of the headers. We kind of improved the contextual internal linking just to make it a bit better, because sometimes there was like opportunities to kind of link to other related services or kind of internal links there. So we saw a good increase there, and then we also kind of worked a bit more on the blog content and kind of pushed people back to like our core services. So we saw pretty good movement there as well.
Okay, so if I was to optimize an existing blog based on this, would you extract entities from competitors and would you optimize it with that page, or how does it work? Like if you were to explain it to someone who has to do it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I can give you kind of my current process now. So essentially what I do is I'll just decide on a target keyword or phrase. I put that into Search for SEO. It's basically going to give me all the keywords / entities. I take those, and then I have like Zim Writer, which is an AI writer. So I basically plug that content into there, and then I essentially will have it write, and the content comes out pretty well. And then what I do is like I do a key takeaways on the top, just because I feel like a lot of people, they want the information faster, and essentially Google likes user experience and reward sites that give people the answer versus say it's halfway down the page and I'm like, what am I even looking for? So I focus heavily on that, and then I usually end each article with like an FAQs in kind of NLP style format. So if it's like I don't know, like what is a boat axle, it'd be like a boat axle is such and such. So just try to make it as easy as possible, and then I heavily focus on a lot of contextual internal linking to kind of push the equity there. And then I'll also have usually 1 or 2 external links just to kind of improve relevancy there. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been my process for a while now, but I feel like it works pretty well.
Yeah, it sounds like the 80-20 of SEO. Yeah. And it's pretty effective. I mean, at the end of the day, we just want the search engine to have at least like the least possible resources to crawl our site. So what is it? The structure and the sentence structure, the easier we make it for search engines to crawl, the better chances we have to rank for that.
Yeah, also like the semantic HTML. So when possible, if you use like bullets using an unordered or ordered list and kind of just doing that stuff there. So just making it as easy as possible.
Yeah. In your process, how much do you use link building, and how do you see that with all of the AI overviews, like many sites are losing clicks? Do you think that link building would be more significant or less significant in the future, or even now?
Good question. Honestly, I would say it's going to be more important. I think it has become more important because it's just so easy to create. I mean, not all content and not all AI content is perfect, but it's pretty easy to basically create AI content that's pretty decent. I mean, at least I've been in SEO for a while, so I was like paying people like, I guess in like a third world country to kind of create content that's English not as their first language. So that content is a significant step up, but going back to that, it's just like when content becomes so easy to create and everyone's putting out somewhat decent content, I feel like links become a more deciding factor, because it's like what's differentiating this person's content if they're so similar. So it's like I feel like links become much more important. I mean, AI overviews, like I think it's hard because it's like you can still be ranking high within the AI overview, but if no one's clicking to your website, you're losing clicks. So I think it's like kind of shifting the narrative, and obviously clicks are so important, but if you're still getting visibility, then it's ideally good. But yeah, it's kind of just, I think, better kind of recalculating your KPIs and understanding what's going to make you money at the end of the day.
Yeah. I think what you've said, like, you know, since the trend is shifting, I mean, user trend is shifting now. Say I wasn't an SEO, I wasn't a digital marketer. At the end, Google just told me the recipe of a banana bread. Now I'm just not going to go to the recipe websites and try to find the best recipe. So there's a certain shift in user behavior, so that us marketers have to adapt and, as you said, change the KPIs, change the goals, and that's probably the way to move forward. I also find the internet a little bit sketchy now, because like not just AI content, like written content is so easy to make, but like these AI videos, not sure if you've seen some really creepy as in very realistic videos of people doing stuff that they'd never done. So
yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking of your first case study. Probably those companies can now create AI generated stock footages or something and sell that.
Yeah, I mean, they were in a tough predicament now, especially because it's very easy to create video stock footage that looks pretty good, and it's like you don't have to pay anyone now. So, I mean, those sites are definitely, I guess, struggling now. I don't have access to their analytics, but just given how search trends have changed and the technology, it's harder to compete.
Yeah. You also said that you're working with a lot of local clients doing local SEO. Do you think for those businesses, link building matters more, or is there some other signals because they're in a local area? Is there like a different strategy for local SEO there?
Yeah, I mean, with local SEO, I tend to focus more, certainly like links, but I tend to focus more on like citations and like embeds to the GMB. And kind of also just making sure the GMB is really optimized, so having the most business category, kind of getting the best secondary categories you have. I use a tool called, I can't think of it now, but it's basically a GMB tool that kind of like gives you
maybe
analysis.
Localo, I don't know.
GMB Crush. That's what it's called.
A GMB Crush. Okay.
Yeah, so I use that, and then I also heavily focus on like kind of making more geo-type pages. So I think a lot of it's more relevance. I definitely think backlinks matter in local SEO, but I feel like for the local pack, it's a lot more user-based type signals versus if you get backlinks, you're going to see, I guess, a better increase in the more organic results.
I see. Do you suggest, or do you how do you go about making sure that your clients have photos on their Google Maps? I see it's a lot of struggle in the US. Like, you just don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, when I was working with a client recently, an easy way they did it was every time they were basically delivering or renting out storage containers, and every time one of the drivers would deliver the storage container, he would basically take a picture of that, and then they would add that to the GMB. So you kind of got like the local signals because it had like from his phone, and it was kind of very easy. So I think it's just making it so it's kind of like part of what they're doing, and that way they don't kind of think it as more of a task. It's kind of just like it's almost automatic. So I think it's just removing the barrier and making it like harder, because whenever you create more friction, someone's less likely to want to do something. So it's like removing the friction from like the worker or the user.
Yeah. That's a good point. Removing friction, making the whole process more smooth for everyone to execute on it. Yeah. Let's talk more. Let's just touch on something we also mentioned before the podcast is personal branding. So I've noticed that more and more people do personal branding. I mean, I'm into it, but for a different reason. But my question is more specific to SEO agencies or digital marketing agency owners. How can someone stand out in their personal brand when there is only so much to say about SEO? I mean, at the end of the day, like, what is the 80-20 of SEO? We've already discussed this in the beginning of the podcast. What else can someone bring into their personal branding, in your opinion, to stand out in this saturated market?
Yeah, I mean, I could kind of, I guess, give my way as I've done it. Is like essentially, I feel like there's a lot of people smarter than me in SEO, but I kind of give unique takes, and I'm kind of a very I like to be transparent to both my clients and the advice I share, and I feel like there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. So my focus has always been provide the best value possible, don't ask for anything in return, and just share your unique experiences or ways on how you can solve a client's problems and how you differ. And I mean, I've done things where it's like SEO myths or how I'm different than other people. And I think people like that stuff. I think also a lot now is like LinkedIn is becoming a lot more about personal experiences. So kind of like people are more interested in your story beyond just, oh, this person does SEO. So I mean, I think it's kind of both highlighting both your work expertise as well as like your life experiences, because if someone's basically telling me like their life experience and how they overcome something, that's gonna resonate with me a lot more than versus like, oh, this person's just sharing everything else people do. And I think another thing for me is like I try not to really rehash or reshare or rewrite, or I mean sometimes I get ideas from others, but I try to make sure my content is as unique as possible, which obviously can be hard in SEO. So it's like I'd rather publish less content that's very unique versus here's the same thing another 100 people have said. So like, I mean, it kind of goes back to like having unique takes. So I think Search Engine Land featured my article about HubSpot and how the traffic was down, and I was like, this is a third-party metric. We don't have direct access to the Google Analytics Search Console. We don't know if that affected their sales. So things like that. I think it's just not being afraid to make a unique point, and I guess not being afraid of kind of like criticism, because I'd rather be myself and appeal to less people than be fake. So I think SEO and just personal branding right now is people are more interested in people that are human, not just these robots with this perfect lives and no conflicts and life's perfect. So, sorry, tangent there, but I feel like wanted to give the information.
Do you have any problems at the beginning overcoming some sort of self-doubt in order to start your personal brand? Because I know many people would be like, oh, I'm not the type who writes. I'm not the type who takes pictures of myself. They just really have a hard time promoting themselves. You know, like they say everything as a promotion, even if you post something that you're excited about. What advice would you give to those people?
I mean, initially when I started, I think my intent was, I don't know if it was to increase my personal brand, but I just felt like within LinkedIn and the SEO space, there was a void as far as like people actually sharing what works and not BSing people and just being unique. So I think don't ever be afraid to be yourself, because you're going to be able to stand out more. And like one of my favorite quotes is like, be yourself, everyone else is taken. So it's like, people are not going to agree with everything you say, but I think the people that do are going to find you a lot more, I guess likable. So I mean, like I've never focused on like a self-promotion, but I think in the age we're in, it's like if you want to like increase your job prospects or get more clients, you need to be on the top of people's mind. And it's like there's nothing wrong with self-promoting yourself. I think if every post you have is like, I'm amazing and blah blah blah, I think that's when people's eyes start to gloss over. But I think a mix of just both personal actionable advice, like takeaways, how you're doing things are going to work best.
Yeah. In a way, building personal brand is also like kind of getting rid of your negative self-talk and just get on with it, which is almost like a psychological, mental exercise that people have to go through. Even as someone who is extroverted, and I've considered myself quite friendly, I do find it hard to sometimes craft the posts and stuff, which is why I use a lot of AI, but trying to personalize it a bit.
People.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. Yeah. In fact, like I'm trying to build a bot to imitate me. Anyway, so that's like another conversation. But yeah, in a way, I realized that while doing my own YouTube channel as well, like, oh my God, just sitting in front of the camera by myself in an empty room, it's scary. It is quite scary. It's like almost like a gym exercise. You have to you have to lift, you have to put in the reps, and yeah, you'll grow that way. All right, Peter, before I let you go, I have this one more question, which I love to ask my guest for a little bit of self-development things, but well, if you were to go back in time, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Ooh, good question. I mean, I think kind of just going all in on what is working. So, I mean, 2015, 16, I feel like affiliate SEO is much easier than it is now. So I feel like I should have went all in on that. And I think also just getting a mentor earlier, because you're going to like kind of increase the time. I can't think of the word, but basically increase the time for you to be successful, because you can read all the stuff online about how to be successful or the education, but if you can understand someone's personal experience having gone through something, it's going to be more applicable than these people that have never experienced and they're like, do this, and it's like you've never done it yourself. So I think it's just getting a mentor and kind of going all in on what's working and not doing a million other things at once. So I think probably those two things.
Amazing. So take action and prioritize? Or
yeah, prioritize what works.
Yeah, amazing, Peter. Well, if people would like to reach out to you, how can they find you?
Yeah, sure. So you can just search my name, Peter Rota. I come up on LinkedIn and Upwork, and then I also have a personal website, peterrotaseo.com, where I do anything from I've been doing a lot of audits recently, so audits, e-commerce, local SEO, kind of happy to help in all those things.
Amazing, Peter. I'm so glad you joined the show, and I can't wait to meet you, maybe at an SEO conference or something.
Yeah, hopefully one day.
Yeah. Oh, hopefully one day. All right. See you.
Thanks.
Bye.